I'm thinking in the following lines. There, Mr. Parker has come on the platform. Morning, Mr. Parker. Good morning, Mr. Parker. I can see that he's on. He's muted, but he's there. There he is now. Good morning, Mr. Parker.
Morning, my lord. How are you?
I should not complain. Are you at trial ready?
Indeed so, my lord. I'm trial ready. I'm on my way, my lord, but I thought not to delay the proceedings. I'll link in.
Yeah, but if we lose you, don't be concerned. I've already noted in the practice note your situation, so that's fine. But if you make it through and we're still busy, then we'll attend to you. Switch off your camera. Mr. Parker's on his cell phone in his car and I can see he's driving. Linking in. All right.
Good morning. I'm being accused of instructions of it as well.
Yes, so that sorts that out as well. Ms. McLaughlin. And are you ready? You are also trial ready. So the only issue is, Mr. Brandt, what I thought was how it could work is, I take it these items will be on an external hard drive, that Correctional Services will obviously create a facility where it can be plugged into a computer and he can read there, whether they lock him up in a single cell for that purpose or whether it's done in the visitation room. And one can always arrange that if you need to consult, that they try and set up the link for you, that he's got it on the screen and you can work through it on Teams. We've done that before. You see, I don't want to interfere with Mr. Van der Schuyf. Good morning. I don't want to interfere with Correctional Services as to their internal arrangements because I don't know what the situation is. Is Mr. Van der Schuyf at Paulsmoor currently?
Yes.
Correctional Services, the head of department of that section where he is now, and we are in the process of arranging for the volumes of information to be made available to Mr. Van der Schuyf. We are mindful of the security concerns for people who have had, in particular with the access to internet and connectivity and that sort of thing. But subject to their security protocols, they are happy, or they're in the process of assisting us in making it available. We are looking at the possibility of the relatively down the device, which would be available as a reader, and that's what we're looking at this stage. And both Mr. Grant and I will liaise in that regard. Also, is aware of the fact this is based on volumes of information in hard copy would be a challenge, but that's just what we're exploring all of the others, either the volumes in hard copy or a down device as well as a
I understand that. I'm also willing to endorse the warrant of detention to the effect that as an arrangement between the parties and Correctional Services, that they can transfer Mr. Van der Schuyf to a facility where, say for example, they can only do it at Goodwood and it's better there, that they can transfer in between. But I'll just endorse it to give them the right consultation with you, the two of you. Yeah.
the undertaking from correctional services that they need that they need to that they are happy to I'm talking about the moving, but for now they are happy to assist us with the facilitation of having access to the volumes of information at calls.
You say you'll be in contact with me. You realize, of course, that I won't be here. I know that I'm coming in for the other matter of Mr. Modack sometime, and I think it's on the 11th of August. For some other reason, I've got that date in the back of my mind.
Suffice the word we will say arrangements as an agreement between the state.
You can always contact me through Mrs. Davids. I'm not going away, far away, and if I need to assist, I will do that.
Slight disagreement by I'll defend your lordship was to endorse the warrant.
No, I'll endorse the warrant to indicate to them that they can make the arrangements subject to their own protocols, and leave it up to them to decide, so that I've always had good cooperation from correctional services if I make the request. So I don't expect anything. It is just that if I issue the endorsement, they know they can feel safe that I've agreed they can move the person.
We have already cleared the matter in court, and you are aware of that. It's not just something that we are trying to deny.
Mr. Brandt, in the past, I picked up the phone and I would call the Provincial Commission and ask it, please do us a favor. That's just, and it works. Wow. So what was the next date you were looking at?
Because we need to resolve the issue of number 2. But we also can't get it.
I don't want to deal with accused number 2 in his absence, but Mr. van der Merwe is here. I've made it clear to accused number 2 and everybody else that if they don't go private, they must apply for legal aid. And if he hasn't applied, then I will have to deal with that. Mr. van der Merwe is sort of, and I'll hear him now when Mr. Modack comes, he's sort of hanging in the air somewhere because he doesn't know how long the trial's going to run. From the email that I saw, it doesn't have financial instructions. I didn't expect him to be here today.
It's on its way. The state has signaled that we wish to bring the application on the 9th of June. We are now another 6 weeks down the line. We still know further. Mr. Van der Merwe does not have financial instructions, and there is no indication that it's coming. So my request would be when
Mr. Modack is here, we'll deal with it. But when do you anticipate the trial date's going to be?
That's in the hands of the coordinated adjournment.
It won't be before the end of this year. It's unlikely. Now I'm just thinking of what I know, the number of parted matters in the system. I know there's even been a discussion that to extend the number of divisions. I know there's a number of parted matters. Whether you're going to have a judge available to deal with it. We're now at the end of the second term. We're in the start of the third term. So it's highly unlikely that it will be this year. So what I was thinking about, subject to what we're going to find, is to declare the matter trial ready for everybody, and then I'll set a date in October somewhere for everybody to come back so that we can get the trial date, so that I can give them the trial date in October, put Mr. Modack to terms as to he must then sort it out by that date, but the trial date will be determined, and then we can deal with it from that basis. Because if the trial date's in next year, you're looking at first earliest, and that means it's in February. In the meantime, if you want to make a call, or one of your colleagues make a call to the coordinator and find out what are the prospects. Because remember, when I managed the two cases together, I picked up a tension between your unit and your colleague's unit with the other matter of Mr. Modack. I got the impression they wanted to be first because they were talking about, and it's the first time I heard it when they said there will be this court in Goodwood. I know nothing about it. I just heard it here in court, and they wanted to start when in August. They indicated we're not even close. Because Mr. Alexander is here, I can see. And I don't know what the instructions will be there. That's where Mr. Witz is involved. But maybe you can check what will be the earliest date. They can call quickly, because we are waiting. And then we can plan from there. If needs be, I can excuse some of the other these accused, and then Mr. Modack's coming back for the other matter, and I'm not sure what the date is. Is it the 11th of August? And I indicated I'm going to come in for that. But we need to also schedule whether either we do the 342A today, or we're going to do it on the next day. But 342 must be dealt with. Application is set. Yeah, it's fine. But I don't want to keep everybody else up.
The state lands rights were right of thing to be compromised in your state because they have been denied. But in particular, Mr. Van der Schaik. Mr. Van der Schaik is in capacity voting on this matter. But I don't want to preempt my
No. Mr. Brandt, how long has Mr. Van der Schaik been in custody? So if we go to October, it's going to be 2 years that he's been in custody. Then 49G comes into play. And I take it there was a bail application and it was refused. And on appeal as well. You know, man sitting waiting in custody, and it's his only matter. Mr. Modack has the other matters, so I'm not going to deal with that issue. He's been sitting waiting for 2 years. He's only going to start preparing on his defense now. I don't know what's going to be the outcome of the case. Everybody else has to come all the time. Ms. Pedersen comes from where? From Gauteng. She has been traveling up and down all the time. And it's a matter that can run quickly and easily because it's a paper matter, effectively. From what I read on the indictment, I suspect they're going to have the accounting people and the SARS people coming in and presenting the evidence, and maybe here or there a supplier if necessary. And that's it. There's VAT returns. Effectively, it's VAT returns. So it's the numbers and who completed the forms and whether they were legitimate claims.
I think it states to itself that instead of the state's rights of the individual to see. So it's there's all of them, but especially once invested, I think that the case was in Johnson prosecutor.
We're waiting on one of the prosecutors who just made the call. We'll get the date. In the meantime, I'm sure Mr. Modack will be close now. Can deal with that. But yeah, when am I back? officially. Yeah, but remember that's when 2 weeks of recess. Because I'm not coming back. Just I swapped with first day of next. It's a bit second. That first Friday will be the 6th, but that will be the day of admissions. It's the first Friday of the month. And I have an appeal, unless we do it on a Thursday instead of a Friday. Just peg it in there somewhere.
Wait for something as a 2, then number 3 and 4, there's a file policy with files, and then the foundation will be arranging with.
No, he's already indicated on a previous occasion. Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah. Whoever is going to appear will be trial ready on the date that we set. If anybody changes legal representation, the new person must be available. I'll make it very clear. I'll make that very clear. This matter has been delayed for long enough. So, Mr. Van der Merwe, did you come specifically for this matter, or did you have other business?
For this matter, after receiving your orders,
Yeah.
my presence here is assessing it all of being.
No, because remember you sent that email on the 11th, indicating your position.
So indicating that there are ongoing discussions. I will be made that's what I can. But I will basically.
Yeah. We will also now have an indication once one of the prosecutors come back as to where potentially the trial date will be. We'll also have that indication shortly. We can take it from there. What's the time? I think I'm going to take a short. Oh, there they are. That was the knock. We'll see how it goes. If this is going to take much longer, we might not be able to do that today. This takes much longer. Good morning, Mr. Modack. Have a seat. Right, so we've got everybody here now. Yusuf, is the recording ready? Whilst we're waiting on Mr. Modack, we've basically dealt with all the other accused, and I shall just place it on record once we're through. So, Mr. Van der Merwe.
The cognizance of the email which I forwarded, I think it was in July, that's what was related by the court to you without investing financial infraction. And everybody has indicated that you should conduct the important conduct inquiry in terms of the people today. And what the problem that I have, and I wish to say from the outset that there are contradictory versions of what the truth may be or not. I have not had any contact with my clients since I was here on the last occasion. The contact that I have with family members is very much like playing an old girl and a young telephone. You leave one whisper to the ear of one and eventually see what comes out on the other side.
Mr. Van der Merwe, can I just cut you short? We definitely, and I don't want to delay the proceedings, would it help if I take, say, an hour adjournment now? I know I've got another matter. I've already indicated to Ms. Davids. We might have to inform those parties that I'll hear them after hours or whatever. It's also one of those cases where I've just made myself available because it's an 18-month-old child and now 2 years old, and child's in the middle of this tussle between the parents, and I said I'll make myself available to help. Because Mr. Modack is here now. Then I can take an adjournment. We can... It's difficult downstairs. I don't know, Mr. Leroux, how are your conditions downstairs now for consultation? Will you be able to assist, Mr. Van der Merwe? So I'll give you, say, an hour. You can spend the hour with Mr. Modack. You can consult. So you'll have a clear picture of where we are. It's now 9:30. Let's say till 11 o'clock. Give you an hour and a half. Everybody else can go and have coffee or whatever the case might be. I've got work in my office to do. I'll come back at 11. In the meantime, everybody must... Henry Sidaki knows about the other inquiry she needs to make. If they want to go back to their office, they can. I know they have somebody that drives them up and down to their office. Down the road, Mr. Brandt can go to his office. In the meantime, I'll prepare the warrant for Mr. Van der Schyff with all the necessary endorsements. We'll just put in the date thereafter, and then you can advise me. Will it only be you, or your colleague will also join you, because he had also come down from the north, and he's sort of ducking me sitting on the side there.
Finish my point. Just so that Mr. Van der Merwe knows that there's another aspect that he needs to consult, in particular with his client. Is that when I received the email last week that Mr. Van der Merwe is not able to contact Mr. Modack to inquire anything else concerned. So I made inquiries from the Department of Correctional Services. They informed me that Mr. Modack is contacting a lawyer daily. I have an indication of the printout from Correctional Services.
You can give it to Mr. Van der Merwe. Give it to Mr. Van der Merwe first, so that he can take instructions on it.
On a daily basis.
No, that's fine. Miss Pedersen, will you be able to come back on at 11 o'clock again?
Yes, Your Worship.
Platform? In the event that we lose the connection, we are going to postpone. I'm going to postpone it in your absence. Mr. Brandt will have the date. Because you were on, and then I'll hold over whatever action until the next date, in the event that we lose. So I don't know what load shedding is where you are, and all. But in the meantime, we'll try and facilitate. For the other people on the platform, I might have to switch devices between now and 11, because the laptop I'm using is not my own. It's actually the laptop of our internal IT person that she set up, but I can't hold onto her device for the rest of the day, so we might have to come and set up my own. So if you lose the platform now, don't be concerned. We will connect again, if not on this device, but on another device. And Mr. Parker, if you can hear me, you now know that you can take your time to be here.
My lord, I'm actually in chambers. I didn't want to barge into court, so I'll be there when the court reconvenes.
Good. Thank you. Right. So that's it. I'll see you at 11. Mr. Leroux, you know the drill. So it will be Mr. Van der Merwe and Mr. Alexander. I don't know whether they're going to go through here or come around the back. You can talk to them as to what's best. And I'm saying this on record. That's why I'm speaking to Mr. Leroux. He knows the drill when there's a legal consultation that they don't stand around and listen. So I don't have to tell him that. He's one of the old hands at the court. So Mr. Modack, Mr. Van der Merwe, Mr. Alexander will come down, take instructions from you, and then we'll reconvene at 11. The other people can be excused. Go have a cup of coffee. Mr. Van der Schuyf, I can't tell you to go and have a cup of coffee. Mr. Brandt, do you want to go down to Mr. Van der Schuyf? I don't know how many rooms they have downstairs, but you can speak to Mr. Leroux. He says it's fine if you need time. So I will then take an adjournment till 11 o'clock. Where's the adjournment? You can switch your vote.